Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a very special and a very important day, because today we're marking a very important day, which is the day of 20 years of diplomatic relations between two countries, Ukraine and the United States of America. Let me start with saying that 20 years ago, almost to the day, the first U.S. Embassy opened its doors in Ukraine. Well, actually, everything started in the workrooms, and they started with dedicated people. The first U.S. official presence in Ukraine was a consulate set up in an apartment on the left bank in the spring of 1991. Longtime U.S. Embassy employees, Irina Vazyanova and Viktor Golovatyuk, were the first Ukrainian employees and worked side by side with a small crew of Americans who later set up the first embassy. John Gunderson was first charge the affairs. It was Gunderson who exchanged diplomatic notes with Foreign Minister Zlenko at that time on December 26, 1991, establishing former relationship. On January 22nd, 1992, the U.S. Embassy opened in a former District Communist Party building. Roman Papadyuk was named the first U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, arriving in July of 1992 and raising the first flag over the embassy building. It was one of many firsts of 1991. After President Bush and Kravchuk signed an historic agreement in May, the first Peace Corps volunteers arrived. The first U.S. government exchange participants traveled back and forth between other countries, and the private American Chamber of Commerce started that year in Ukraine. And now may I present the U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Mr. John F. Tefft, and the Deputy Foreign Minister of Ukraine, Pavlo Shylko.
Mr. President, ministers, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen, and friends, thank you all for coming here tonight to help us mark the 20th anniversary of the establishment of U.S. Ukrainian diplomatic relations. I'm told there is an old Ukrainian proverb, "Daleki shlach ta blizhny drug." To see a friend, no road is too long. Tonight we have gathered together many friends who have traveled with us on that long road of building a vibrant U.S.-Ukrainian friendship. Gathered here tonight, we have government officials and former officials, members of the American and Ukrainian business communities, members of the Ukrainian diaspora, leaders of the NGO community and civil society, artists, activists, professors, teachers, alumni of our many programs. 20 years ago was a historic moment as we created a new embassy and watched a new country being created before our very eyes. I was then the deputy director in Washington of a new office called the Commonwealth and Independent States Office. I was deeply involved in establishing our new U.S.-Ukrainian relationship and helping get our embassy established here, so I too feel tonight like I was present at the creation, albeit separated by 5,000 miles. At the core of our relationship throughout all of these 20 years have been the people-to-people contacts, both within government programs and outside in the private sector. Literally thousands of Americans and Ukrainians have developed close personal ties that are the cement that holds us together, even when our official relationship has sometimes had its ups and downs. For example, thousands of Peace Corps volunteers have fanned out across the country over the last 20 years into the lives and homes of thousands of Ukrainians who have taken them in and taught them Ukrainian ways. Today, the Peace Corps program in Ukraine is the largest such program in the entire world. Through our assistance, the American people have tried to help support Ukrainians who want to address the issues that they face every day in their community, like the challenges of economic transition and modernization. We have encouraged Ukrainians as they have built democratic skills and institutions, promoting civic participation, tolerance, and good governance. Our U.S.-sponsored exchange programs have sent more than 40,000 Ukrainians to the United States since 1992. Scholars, students, experts, officials, community leaders at all levels have traveled on various academic and professional exchanges. These programs have allowed a broad spectrum of Ukrainians to see their work in an international context and to see the United States firsthand. Above all else, I want to emphasize tonight that throughout these 20 years, American goals in Ukraine have remained unchanged. We want, and we've always wanted, what Ukrainians themselves want for their own country. A Ukraine that is sovereign, independent, prosperous, and irreversibly democratic. a country that is modernizing as a European state, a transparent, inclusive Ukraine where a dynamic civil society is free to contribute to public life, a country which is open to investment and welcomes international business, and finally, a Ukraine where all citizens enjoy the full protection of the rule of law. To repeat the Ukrainian proverb, to see a friend, no road is too long. The United States is a true friend of Ukraine, and we are willing to walk this long road together with our Ukrainian friends. Thank you very much.
Дякую.
Ambassador Tefft, I know there's a tradition that you know, the flag that was flown over the embassy, when the embassy is moving from one building to another, there's a great tradition in the United States that is given to the current ambassador. That is true, right?
That's true.
So today we're about to do that, I guess, right?
We're going to do it, and I should say it's really an honor for me. I'll accept this flag, but I do it in the name of all of the Americans and Ukrainians who've worked so hard over the last 20 years to make this relationship what it is.
We have a lot of symbolical stuff happening tonight. Well, it's 20 years. Today is 20th of January. And another person who will appear here on the stage is also very much symbolical. He came here 20 years ago and never left the country. I'd put it more. He really invested his effort and all his heart into making the Odessa Philharmonic Orchestra very much worldwide known. So would you please welcome to a very special person, Hobart Earle. The next guests that will appear here tonight are very special in a way. I'll tell you a little story. They have won a very special international concourse that took place in Ukraine. It was a hip-hop competition, and the group name is BFF. So they are the first one, after the, say, the first big part, to come here on the stage.
She be having dinner in a den like a lion. Any, mo, mini, miney, slim, slam, anybody. She too skinny, she's no hottie. Who'd ever think she would be no lottie? Party where the stars are, oh, say, can you see?
We're gonna have live sound, very special acoustic performance. To Ukrainians, this group is the one that you don't need to say a lot of words to explain who they are. So would you please welcome the great guys, unbelievable band, one of the leaders of Ukrainian rock music, Druha Rika.
Спалили зілля, я не допив ще свого життя, хоч кожен початок шукає кінця.
About the next performer, I can really be talking hours and hours. Especially for tonight's performance, she prepared 3 songs. One of them is one of the hits I was talking about, and the other 2 are the premiere song that you will be the first, people to hear those songs. So would you please welcome unbelievable Gaitana. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of American Embassy, we would like to thank everybody who made this event a success, who made their contribution. Have a very good evening. Thanks a lot. It was my pleasure to be with you today. Thank you. Bye.